Then I just save it next to the exe and it's good to crack. Maybe you could firewall effect. Maybe they didn't install right. Either way, has firewall. It's a good zombie dead. Okay. Oh my. It's a bit jealous, especially towel, which means hammer poison X may have that kid. You play with that. All rules. My because it has working. These find all this balance, but maybe just power is only the setting. This dark inside. Maybe if you know thing, the he's the devil of magic. Time to see good guy. The Imperium is a bunch of fascists. And like them for another reason. Very weapon. These weapons. I don't know how to describe it other than drunk. Off. Blame set. Fire control. Still pretty atrocious. This is the moment I'm ready. This is one of those games I can't plan hard. Most starts off the cutscene of something happening before. The game. Your word voice. There's no way to change. Talking. This game's just ball. Talk from dial. At least the sound is clear. A lot of levels will just have these alarms blaring half the time. When the game gets quiet, you realize an idea of full is a machine gun sound. First, like almost in the game. At several points, I couldn't tell what sounds were. Is this like being an event or chips? I that. But why does every that it's lose remember beat it 15 minutes we up I just move on. It is about a standard shooter enemies. What I find it's a kind of one of sort of game. You need to understand what's happening. Color coded. Having the red door is now defeatedly. So we'll have that's counter. Time to time you'll compare pass. Wait a minute. We'll have man my time. It is. I've had that a little bit. The way we're but it's just a worse version of the game. How Halo messed it up somehow. And I looked at 4 and years in the games. It's like, oh, this makes sense now. To give the game some credit, it has a variety of there are more you plasma pistol, multi-gun, the list goes on. They got it right. Curious, it might as well be soon. Useless. First, sub-right is a good medium range. A muscle plasma. The bolter is fun to use. The chaos can't know it's a bolter. If you don't know the lore, 75 in the church. The chaos bolter does the same thing except the round issues that two guns. Rare find it on downs. So putting down a rifle in a doing the player from experimenting. The attack terrible. Two weapons you really like, you have to choose one because you're only going to choose one weapon for most of the game. It's how it's like win an enemy. For that, except the scenario doesn't happen a lot. By this guard you get a rail rifle in the last levels of the game, and this is when POW weapons are good. The rail rifle and then right me too. Waiting. While I address the biggest problem is the spread and aiming system. Auto aim go all over the place. We're going to the right target. You might be thinking it looks so obnoxious, you should just turn. This is the best makes the game play like a buggy rail shooter. This is with it on, and the rounds are still going way outside the reticle. Remember, this is carry long complete change. Wait. From time to time, enemies will dream of a world of multiple enemies. Early in the game, there's a boss fight with Valkyrie aircraft. Weapons takes. Sometimes I get both of them, which I didn't. And it killed itself. I spent longer than I'd like to admit looking at this clip trying to figure out what happened. I can't recall a boss in a game that just committed suicide, but now I think I have it figured out. When the pilot gets angry enough, he says a prayer and writes something down in a manuscript. He hands it to the tech behind the launchers for warmth. This is when the grateful tech priest fires missiles, as you can see. After carefully studying the schematics, he saw something. You can see how the cockpit, but not from behind the launchers. So, to put it in short, he fired point blank into this pipe and blew himself up. That's one mystery solved. Next time I'll tackle the missing door. All these problems explain the bad PC reviews. If you've seen videos I've made before, you know that I usually start with the visuals and maybe a bit of story background and then move on to the rest, but I've been assaulted by issues non-stop from the beginning. Let's be honest, even if the story's incredible, that's not exactly Game of the Year material. So this could just be a horrible, horrible port of a PS2 classic. So after making calls and exchanging some notes, I got someone to help me. So to see if this is just the PC version, I have internet celebrity 8-Bit Brody to talk about the PS2 version. Is it as good as they say?
You know, I've been a fan of the Warhammer universe for a while now, and I have memories of Fire Warrior. I never liked it as much as Halo, but I remember being an enjoyable experience. Visiting this game, however, has proven my memory to be an unreliable source, and I feel that I can no longer trust my former self with any future decision in my life. Every glitch and sound found on the Windows version of this game can also be experienced on Sony's home console. There was even an additional auditory hiccup during the tutorial. The voiceover present in this section stalls when naming a button prompt. It's as though it's pausing to allow for different inputs to be stated for different versions of the game, made all the more strange by the absence of this voiceover from the PC release. The night vision is somehow worse, and I even discovered how to make my character fly using a ladder, in some sort of Douglas Adamsian fashion, by him seeming to simply forget how to fall. The most directly discernible divergence between the two games, however, are the controls. Let me give you a quick rundown. Joysticks are standard shooter affair. R1 and R2 are primary and ultimate fire respectively. Circle is reload, square spins, and X is your use command. Triangle special maps him, he lobs grenades. Why wouldn't they make that one of the L buttons, you ask? Well, let me tell ya, L1 is how you jump, and L2 is reserved for crouch, because of course it couldn't be on L3, that snaps your view into a level position, as was requested by every post-Halo console first-person shooter fan. Luckily, they let you change it in the options menu to this, so, you know, that's good. Going back and playing this, it's very hard to believe that a game was released with controls this poorly optimized 2 whole years after the first Halo hit store shelves, and only 1 short year before this very console had its own dedicated FPS in Killzone. Other games of the same era were able to implement far more ergonomic and sensible control schemes, so I have a hard time excusing the faults of Fire Warrior with age. It honestly feels like the developers, not dissimilar to my absent father stumbling into our basement and discovering my uncle teaching me all the wrong ways to use it, just care. If you care, however, feel free to come to my channel and subscribe.
Brody.
I also have a Patreon. You can donate money to
Brody.
I'm very poor.
Alright, we got it. Alright, so it's just as bad on PS2. I'm not sure if that makes me feel better or worse. I should talk about something positive. The technical graphics are average so far for the time, and the levels did remind me of Red Faction a lot, But if you're into the Warhammer setting, there's some pretty neat stuff to see. Despite all the problems it had, the art team really did their homework. There's a level that takes place on an Imperial ship, and you can really feel the size of it. Visit the study, the recovery ward, the kitchens, this guy. It has the most overdramatic Windows Vista handbook and out of order sign you'll ever see. If you wanted an FPS game where you can walk around the Warhammer 40k world, this was your only option for a long time. I gotta give them credit, they did a great job at it. I could see people having fond memories of this game. They might not remember how bad it got, but some of these images alone can stick with you. It's a downright shame that the level design itself is so bland. There were so many moments I thought it would get better. During a bunker level, I found a chair that had a bolter sitting on it. That meant it was a cool way of teasing Brutus Maximus in the corner ready to fight. It was a good use of the environment telling a player about an obstacle coming up. That's a lot better than I can say for the rest of the game. Same line over and over again.